March 21st, 2019. I will call to order this regular meeting of the Bandera City Council. And if you guys will all join me in rising. I've asked my friend Matthew to give information, and we'll follow that with the pledge.
Let's pray together. God, thank you for this day, and we thank you so much for the city of Bandera. We just would ask that you will continue to guide the council members here in their decisions and the agenda, that you will continue to bless this city, that it will be a small foretaste of heaven. And we will give you all praise, honor, and glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 is visitors to be heard. We have Jane Bruce. And Jerry. Hello. Jerry talking about some emails I just want to find out mine.
Ken, I need a copy of anything that you give them, please. Thank you, it has to go on the current file. Thank you, Jerry.
4.5 weeks ago, I emailed the code enforcer about some signs at a business next to us, and how I thought some of those signs weren't in compliance with the rules. He emailed me back, as you can see on the second one, a week later, because he'd been out on paternity leave. The email at the very bottom should go third. He let us know about a new sign ordinance. I thanked you for that information, and then also let him know about some lettering that we had on our building, Riverside RV Park, and that we had taken down to paint. He went on to say that we would need to get a new permit. I told him I couldn't understand that if we just took something down to paint, why we had to go through that whole process again. So I was just hoping to get some clarification on that as to why that is. Also, he had said in the email on the second page, no further updates are needed. I'm not sure quite how to take that. I don't need to email him anymore. I emailed him again on March 1st about the signs still at the RV park next to us, Pop's RV, that were still out of compliance. Didn't get a reply. Emailed him again on the 6th, didn't get a reply. So I guess I'd like clarification on that too. Is he tired of hearing from me? Also, in the code enforcement incident report that he sent to us, it says on there in the last couple of lines that they want to provide excellent and prompt service, pledge to be courteous, respectful, and attentive to any special needs you may have. I don't feel that's how we were treated. Thank you.
Jerry Russ, Riverside RV Park and Chili Dogs. I passed out some emails that I had communication with the code enforcer on, and did you all have a chance to read through those, or do I need to get them?
No, I did not read through this before the
Okay.
meeting. Speaking for
All right.
myself.
Well, Jimmy informed me, I believe it was Monday, Monday, that the council had passed a new sign ordinance a few weeks ago. And he went on to say about how the teardrop banner signs, which I displayed chili dogs there, I would need a new permit for the old, since due to the old ordinance not specifying those types of signs. However, at least from what I've compared, the new sign ordinance, at least pertaining to the bows, the flags, however you want to refer to them, it had not changed at all compared to the previous one. So I had asked permission or what I could do. I asked Jimmy, and he came over to the building, and I specifically asked him, what would I be allowed to do? And in relation to flags, and he says, you don't need to get a permit, and you can keep them up as long as you want, as long as you take them down at night after closing hours. And that was before I went out and bought those flags. So, based upon what I was told, I went out and bought those flags, spent several $100s. EPC helped out too, so they've got money invested in it. And I just don't feel it's right that I was told not long ago, based upon the same type of rule, that still now, I guess there was something new passed. I don't know where in that ordinance pertaining to it, but nothing to do with the feathers as far as what I could compare to. So that's my big thing as far as the signs themselves, but the approach that was used by Jimmy, I think, was totally improper. I had asked him, my wife had asked him about not just that other facility, the RV park, but also right next door to us, and I could care less what other businesses do until I'm being affected and it's not being consistent. So right next to me, I've got the lodge, and they've got 3 big bows up. And I just spoke with Nick as of yesterday, and he hadn't heard one word from Jimmy about it. But yet, he was Johnny on the spot with me on Monday, you know? So I questioned him about that in one of the emails here. And he says back,
I'm really sorry to interrupt you.
am I already hitting 3 minutes?
We're at our 3 minutes.
Oh, I didn't realize.
But thank
Bottom
you.
line is, I'm gonna, hopefully, I'll be able to get put on the agenda, maybe next meeting or something, is that proper?
You can
procedure?
speak with the city secretary.
Okay. And in the meantime, if you read those, especially the next email after that,
Thanks for.
I'd appreciate it. All right?
Got it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And our next visitor is Renee.
Hey, that's right. So I am a property manager for 1207 and 1211 O'Connell Street. And I have 2 tenants. Jerry's one, I have another tenant. Both of them have expended quite a lot of money after having conferred with ordinance coordinator, whatever he's called.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement. They conferred with him, and everything was fine. And so they expended money to purchase these products to be more visible from Main Street. And then shortly thereafter, they're told they can't use them. So I'm just confused as heck. First of all, why? I don't understand, and I wasn't here for the meeting because there's conflicting meetings now. There's a meeting at 5:30. So I didn't understand what was the point. Why did we need a new sign ordinance? I know there was some, like there isn't a lot of other stuff in there. Conflicting maybe isn't the right word, but not clear. It's not real clear. It's not really written user friendly. However, there's a lot of stuff in there that seems, in my opinion, to be working just fine. And so, for instance, the sign that we just erected was almost $3,000. And now we're told that instead of 15 feet, we could have one 25 feet tall. Imagine if we could have known that in advance, we would have done something very different. So my bottom line point is, y'all are really affecting business owners' bottom line. And I think y'all have to be very mindful of being seen as not particularly business friendly. There are a lot of things we could be doing much better if we knew what was coming down the pipe. So like Jerry, I think that we probably want to get on the agenda and see if we can't get other business owners in here who feel the same way we do. We just don't understand what the point was and why because we're all impacted by this, mightily. Thank you.
I'm gonna pop back up to item 1 because I didn't call roll. I apologize, Jill, just for the records. Mayor Shulman is out this evening. Mayor Pro Tem Gibson filling in. We have council members Clark, Palmer, Kavanaugh, and Captain here with us tonight. So my apologies. And we're on item 4, and with council's permission, I'm gonna move item F up to the top for Ms. Keeley to present to us on approval of their, or not present, answer questions if we have any. Sorry. Approve resolution 2019-016, amending the 2018-2019 utility rates. Yeah, so your packet would be out there as well. It's in the,
I think it's the
on the
last
iPad
item.
as well. Okay. Is anybody, are either of you, Jay, are you gonna walk us through this?
Keely is
Keely
driving the
is
bus.
going to. Okay.
Yeehaw, okay, so basically, we were doing the numbers and we ran across basically a discrepancy in what was on the sheet and what was being charged to the actual customers, like actual monetary value. We looked back in our records and found that somehow it had gotten changed in the past on paper, but never actually in the utility billing. And so we wanted to go ahead and make everything clean and simple and the way it should be from, now on.
When you say it was there on paper, so council approved the utility rate change and it wasn't input?
So it wasn't
The
correct.
prices didn't change in the system.
However, this is very complicated, I'm gonna try to simple it down. So the 5% rate increase that we applied, in September for the new budget, when it was 5% across the board, this discrepancy on the sheet itself would have made this a significant change, not in the 5%. So it was basically, I can't find the word, sorry. The 5% increase went along with the numbers, versus the amount of gallons used. It went with the price tag, not the consumption. Does that make any sense? I'm trying really hard.
So I guess a question that I want to ask is are the consumers, our citizens going to see a difference in
No.
their, okay.
No,
Because
their
that's
rates
what
will
my
stay
phone calls to
exactly
me
the
were
same.
about,
Nothing
you know,
has changed.
are you going up on the rate?
No,
And
nothing
I
has changed.
said,
This
no,
is
I think there was just a
literally
correction.
a typo.
Yeah, a correction.
That's all this is.
So it
It's
remains
fixing
the
a
same.
typo. You're welcome.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution of the city, I'm sorry, approve the resolution 2019-016, amending the 2018-2019 utility rates.
None makes a motion.
Second.
Tom seconds. Discussions. All in favor? All in favor. Thank you, Keely. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, I'll let him know.
So we're at item A, discuss process for choosing the new city logo. Yeah, please, Jill. Yeah.
Okay, so as most of you know, the cutoff was March 1st. So what I did was I gave you a copy of all the ones we've gotten so far with numbers next to them, but not saying who gave them or anything like that. So on this sheet of paper that I gave you that says possible logo process, so what I was informed by the attorney is we need to come up with a process before we can do selection. So what I did was I searched different cities that had different logo contests similar to this, and these were just some of the things that came up. like the council would judge all the entries and pick finalists and then submit for refinement if you like this, but you want a little bit of changes or
Okay.
that kind of thing for the top finalists, and then have a second draft. The council can extend the deadline if you want to have more entries come in, since we didn't really have that many. The council could choose to select the top 3 and let the citizens choose the winner. The council could choose none of these and start the contest completely over if you don't like any of it. And then just some of the ways that it should be judged on creative, reflecting the community, that kind of thing. And then only to put something together of what it's gonna be, and then say, decisions are final, this is the way it's gonna be. And if we're gonna submit, if we're gonna give the winner a plaque, or, a $25 gift card, or whatever the city decides to do, we have to have a process in place before you can say, oh, we like number 5,
Can I ask you, is this something that we're to draft tonight while we're here, or are you just presenting this so we can take it and come
I'm
back?
presenting it so you can, if you don't think you can make a decision on the process tonight, then you could, but, these are just ideas. I feel like you probably need, I don't know if you looked at the packet, because it did get out this week, but, I think each of you need to come back with your personal opinion, like, I like this, that, or after you come up with a process. You have to have the process first, and that's something we didn't do ahead of time, which we should.
Do you feel like you would do well to tell us what the process is gonna be? I think that would be fine.
I will do a process if that's what you want me to do, and that's why I put these things together to kind of give ideas. Like if you said tonight, well, I want to pick the top 3 and then be able to make some changes, or, I don't think we should put it out to public, or, that kind of thing. If you have
Do you wanna
suggestions,
just,
then you
would it
can
be better to just
email
hash
them
that
to
out
me.
right now and approve it now so we can move forward, or
It's
do you wanna put it
completely
back
up to
on the
you. If
agenda?
you want me to do the whole thing and just copy similar cities, then I can do that and say, here it is, this is what we're gonna do. But that's up to you.
Glenn?
I would suggest that she do that, copy some other cities, bring it to us, and let us tweak it to our,
And
Go ahead.
if we're gonna do that, do you think that we can open it up for another 30 days, or do you guys want to close it out completely? I did have somebody contact me that did the cowboy store and the museum logo, and he would like to submit something,
I wouldn't
but
mind leaving it open personally, make that adjustment.
yeah, it sounds like this is gonna be a process that's gonna go on at least for a couple more meetings, to go through this, so I would suggest that we leave it open at least through there.
So if we left it open till the end of April, that would be like 40 days. So if you said last day,
Sounds good to me.
We know the process is, as I said.
Yeah.
So,
We'll get the process hashed out, or you'll present it to us at the next meeting for approval.
okay.
So, okay, so we'll move on to, do we need to make a motion to, extend the deadline of the contest?
You really can't, because I don't have that on there,
All
and
right.
since we don't have a process really implemented,
Right.
I will just share it back on Facebook and put it back on the website and say that we've extended the deadline while we're getting the judging process in order.
And you can suspend the item if you wanted to till another date. Very similar to tabling.
Do we need to, or can you just put it back on a later agenda? Do we need to take?
You can take no action, and
Yeah,
I
I
can
think
just bring it back
we'll
to
just move on. So we're on item B, discussion and possible action on the one-way sign in City Park.
Well, do you wanna,
Sure. This has come up because the one-way sign is, got posted up sometime several months ago there in the city park where the road splits down there by the larger bathrooms. And now that we're coming up towards summertime, discussion of enforcement has popped up with that. Our city
Public Works Director for me that he put the sign up. Our ordinance allows him to control speed limits on our city streets as well as parking and no parking zones. Does not allow him to control the flow of traffic on our streets or in our park. So therefore, I personally am, and professionally am against the sign. I think it's going to cause far more problems than it's going to ever think about solving. I don't think it's a good thing for the park, but it's not really my decision.
Well, thank you, and I know you were on the park committee, and that piece made it through, but I'm not opposed to following your lead on this one at all, and, yeah, letting you.
My only thing is if it is going to remain up, for it to remain up, we have to enforce it. And for us to enforce it, the council has to decide that is going to be one way on that roundabout there. It can't be me, and it can't be the public works director. It has to be the council.
Well, I would have to go back, but I believe the council did approve the changes to the city park that were recommended by the park committee. But.
Well, I mean, it would have to actually be an ordinance.
An ordinance,
That
okay,
says that
gotcha.
because otherwise we can't write citations for it,
So then,
and therefore it's just a sign that just causes confusion.
does that mean it's a sign you could just dig out of the ground?
Yes, ma'am.
Or ask them to, whatever. Yeah.
See, you think that coming into the park and saying one way to make around that loop by the bathrooms and come back around, that's gonna be a problem to enforce?
Well, I watch it pretty regular, being where it is. About a third of the people just totally ignore it.
Okay.
And,
They probably don't see it then.
Yes, ma'am. And the ones that do pay attention to it, when they do come to the bathrooms, they're going the wrong way to come back to the bathrooms because there's only the one sign. So to effectively do anything, we would put more and more signs up there in the park, and it's an ugly snowball that we start rolling down the hill.
And the only thing I would add to that is now that we have those cedar posts all the way down, then that road is really not a two-lane traffic road. You know, it's a one automobile, one-lane traffic road. So I'm just thinking if there's cars parked there, and when we're open and in full force with the river being like it is, I anticipate our park being pretty full this summer. But with the cedar with the cedar posts kind of fencing and then cars on this side, then you just have this small road. Where are the cars gonna go to? I mean, if you're gonna keep it going, both ways.
Yes, ma'am. I certainly see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
I think it will cause more problems than it solves. I'm just saying that regardless, whatever the council decides to do, if we're going to leave the sign up, we have to have an ordinance so I can enforce it. So if we leave the sign up, we need to be able to enforce it, because otherwise, when we stop people for speeding, they're going to go, well, look at that one because they will certainly see it then. They'll say, well, look at that one that's driving the wrong way. And then we'll have to explain to them, well, there's that sign there, but we can't really do anything about it. That just opens up more cans of worms and problems. So we just need a decision. I will certainly enforce whatever the council wants to do.
It's just not enforceable as it stands.
Yes, ma'am.
Glenn, did you have something?
I was opposed to this when it was first proposed, and I'm opposed to it now. I mean, if you take into consideration, it's a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit, and that's one thing we definitely need to enforce, and it is enforceable. If you're going 10 miles an hour, if you can't figure out how to pass another car, you shouldn't be driving.
It just struck me as out of place when I first saw the sign, and be happy with it disappearing. And if traffic issues get to the point where we need signs, then why should we bring it to us then?
Yeah. And I appreciate the relevant piece is it's not an ordinance and it's not even enforceable, so it's just kind of a disruption at this point.
And certainly, if it does present itself as a problem, we can certainly revisit it very easily and go back.
Right?
In your professional opinion, other than the inability to enforce it, if it was an ordinance, you still see it as a problem though?
I think that we'll have a lot of people that don't pay attention to it and will still be driving the wrong way. And I do think we'll end up putting more one-way signs up. Just so they'll go to the bathroom, they'll go to leave the bathroom, they'll be driving the wrong way. We'll be putting just more and more signs up, trying to make people aware of it. And there'll be a lot of people, oh, we just didn't see it, we were going this way. I think that we should try it. If it is a problem, I will certainly eat my hat and come back in here and say, hey, I was wrong. And let's just give it a shot.
It's all about the flow and the safety for everybody. Yes.
So do we need to make a motion to remove the sign?
Would you like to?
I'd like to make a motion that we take action on the one-way sign in the city park and remove it for now.
The motion, and Linda second that motion. Any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Item C, approve an interlocal agreement with the Lower Colorado River Authority.
Okay, what this is LCRA contracts with different vendors on a yearly basis, or 2 years, excuse me now. And what this can do is extend our purchasing power. We have coming up with our project of the other infrastructure. This gives us a better chance of getting equipment, pipe, valves, fire hydrants, different things like that at a cheaper price. Not everything will be cheaper, but we don't have to go through the bidding process. They do that already. So what this is, like I say, it's to kind of stretch our money a little farther, get a little more bang for our buck. And we can sign it, it's a year agreement, but we can also get out of it at any time with 30-day notice with no penalty. There is a monthly charge of $25, but it never exceeds, I believe it's $100, $150, $250, excuse me, max, from the month before what you purchased. So if we buy 5,000 foot of C900 pipe, that's going to run $125,000, $130,000. We could probably save 20% by using this agreement like this. And one thing in the future, if we decide to stay with it, they're fixing to start branching out more to park services, different things like that. So it'll give us the opportunity to look at park equipment, different things on that note.
Are you familiar with this type of agreement?
Yes, we was
We've
with
done
them
this in other cities.
in Fredericksburg. It started out mainly for electric, but it broadened out to cities with water and wastewater. And now, like I say, they're looking more into the parks and recreation side of it also.
Like making a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with the Lower Colorado River Authority.
So are we, is this a resolution? Are we gonna, is this a resolution?
An agreement.
We don't have to do a resolution for the agreement, okay.
No, you have to approve the agenda item.
Great, so, we have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All in favor? Item D, update on traffic lights, text out, roadwork signs, and AT&T boxes. Jay?
Okay, the next day after the last council meeting, they actually had the light out at.
I got a green arrow. The next day.
Right,
It was crazy.
Spoke to them about maybe coordinating the lights here to try to move traffic more freely. He said it had been discussed, but that would create a work order from TxDOT, which has to go through the process, and they will look into that. There is no timeline as to when it will happen. As far as AT&T boxes, we contacted AT&T, asked them if they would look into it. They passed it on to their corporate office. We haven't heard back yet from them. But the guy did say most of them are abandoned and probably just need to be removed. But nobody volunteered to come down and put them out of the ground.
May I ask you, with TxDOT, so did they fix that light or did that magically happen?
No, they actually fixed it the next day.
And so does any adjustment to the traffic light have to go through that process? Like even, okay.
unless,
But the green arrow, so that had already
yeah.
been,
That was something that was broke.
oh.
That was like something that had to be fixed.
Thanks for the update. You guys have any questions?
Oh, yeah, they are removing the flashing light down here.
They are.
Yes,
They put in a work order, we just got the email a few days ago, so
Great.
it'll be removed soon.
So that brings us to item E. Approve requests from the Bandera regulars for permission for the trail riders to camp in back part of City Park for the Memorial Day weekend 2018. Yes, sir? Glenn?
Did I sleep through it, or did we have a discussion about AT&T boxes and also?
Did you hear Jay?
I'm sorry, I
Okay.
missed the reading.
We're gonna back up to item F real
I
quick.
contacted AT&T,
Or D.
and, they did respond that they are aware of it. Most of them are abandoned boxes and need to be removed, but there is no timeline as of yet as when they will be done. The gentleman did pass it on to the corporate office and just waiting to hear back if they have any idea when it will be done.
Thank you.
Okay. Resume item E. Do we have any for E here?
Yes.
Butch? Fellas? You're on.
Well, I'm not gonna be real good at this, because I had a setback last morning, I was in the hospital, so,
Sorry.
well, I'm here and still breathing. As y'all know, through San Antonio Stock Show Rodeos, Houston Stock Show Rodeos, these trail rides are dying. We need to keep these events alive. Bandera regulars will be 58 years old this year. It originated here in Bandera, Texas, still rides here in Bandera, Texas. Still supports Bandera businesses throughout. Usually most of them's the bars, but either here or there, they come up to have fun. But we request to come back in because we our spaces in places we can camp at now is very limited. We've been up here several times with Will. We have police escort out here. We hire them to escort us. For safety is our #1 issue, and we just want to keep this tradition alive. So we hope you all vote yes.
So, Jay, can I clarify, we're approving, the overnight camping,
Right.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
and, everything else is, you guys work out, that's all we need to address, okay? We just want to be clear that we can take care of everything, yes, sir. Glenn?
Did you check out the suggestion I made?
Yes, sir. Yeah. We've looked at it, I mean, and there's no problems there. We have plenty of room, even back on what they call the soccer fields too, if we needed to go there. The main problem we're concerned about will be if it happens to be raining, which will address that issue.
Okay. I emailed Jay a suggestion that maybe we could put them, rather than put them inside the park, where we're gonna have our regular paying customers and stuff going in there, putting them on the Maple Street extension by the Boys and Girls Club where it opens up there. We have a gate there, and then we have a gate also down at 3rd Street over there. We have the area behind the restrooms where, they can have all that area there. And then they could monitor the gates themselves. Our park attendants wouldn't have to be worried about it.
Yeah. That stuff you guys will.
Yes.
I have a question. We don't have to do anything to allow them to overnight camp in our city parks?
That's what we're doing.
Oh, we're gonna allow that to happen?
It is
Oh,
one
that's what
night,
we're
do you
doing.
have the
Okay.
dates right here?
How many
It's
nights
the
are they gonna be
weekend.
there?
We need the dates, do you have those?
More
3-day
I mean, like, when are you planning on coming
Yeah, we
in?
need that.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
So that would be
Right.
I'm sorry, May, it would be May, right? May,
Yeah.
24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th,
Yes.
4 days, or?
They're coming in Friday, leaving Monday.
Okay, so Friday would be the 24th, Yeah,
Yeah.
24th through the 27th. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion, Rebecca.
Yes, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request from the Bandera regulars for permission for the trail riders to camp in that part of the city park or wherever to be determined, whatever they work out for Memorial Day weekend 2019 from May 24th through Monday, May 27th.
I'll second.
Glenn, does that address your concerns?
Yeah, I mean, whatever the city administrator and the marshal and the public works director can work out, you know, what's best for us. My main concern is, the interaction with our park attendants, you know, the interference that might cause, but, you know, we'll leave it to them to work it out.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Item G, approve request by Bandera Business Association to take over. I did it at the beginning.
Okay.
That's okay. Approve request by Bandera BBA to take over operation, distribution, and maintenance of the tents and equipment. Yes.
We are gonna take no action on that. It was brought to our attention after I put it on the agenda that the tents are owned by the EDC, not by the city.
So we have
Right.
authority over the tents.
Yes, so I had talked to Suzanne about it, I didn't get to talk to you about it. So I have requested for them to take that to EDC, and that's what they're doing.
Item 5, requests and announcements. A, request by council to place items on future agendas. Desires. And item B, announcements by council.
Rebecca,
Yes?
the IGC coach, the IGC committee.
Oh,
for the
I was
code.
gonna do that. I'd like to request that an item be placed on the agenda. Or was that an announcement? Okay,
Either
well,
one. We need a committee.
either who, yeah, anywho, we're trying to gather up a committee of folks to review international building codes. Exciting reading, I know. I think the thought is that ours need some updates and revisions. There's a discussion of taking different chapters individually with maybe local tradesmen, Bureau Veritas, our code enforcement, local businesses who have interests for sure, and maybe a council member or two. I know the mayor would like to be a part of it. So if you're interested, will you email your name to our city secretary? If you have any folks you know of in the community that might be interested in participating in the process of because the suggestion is to update our codes from 1987.
1997 to 2015.
97 to 2015. So, a committee can recommend amendments to those codes if there are things that work better in our community.
So would it be beneficial to have some contractors that build, some local contractors
Absolutely.
that build, that may be interested in, okay. All right.
That's a good thing. Yeah, and business owners who will be affected by the changes. Okay, so that's all I got. Any other announcements, Glenn?
I just talked to a gentleman that lives up on Montague Drive. He had an issue with trucks going through there using their engine brakes and stuff. And we have ordinance about no through trucks on streets and about using engine. So anyway, I talked to the gentleman just before I came to this meeting, and I'd reported to Jimmy a couple of weeks ago. And anyway, happy to report that everything's fine now. He said he hasn't gotten one truck through.
Very good. Will, did you have a comment on that?
Just to say that I knew that Jimmy had made contact with said trucks and informed them about the cutting through, but they had cut that out, but then called him back to report they were now going to a job, that was the direct route to the job, so they might be back on that route, so if,
You'll let your buddy know.
yeah. But that's not to say that he may not fall back on his old habits promptly, so if it continues down that road, please let us know ASAP.
I'm not sure how that could be considered a route to a project when they have 3240s to 173 to 16.
I will touch base with him mañana, but he advised me that he had taken care of it, and then the guy called him back and said, hey, just to let you know, we've got a job that's the direct route to. We've got a couple trucks going to, so I'll check on it.
Any other announcements, Council? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to announce, I'm really disappointed. I've been working with the city for about 6 years. When I first came on to council, we had the tail wagging the dog. We had staff that was doing whatever they wanted to do, however they wanted to do it, and pretty much getting the blessings of the attorney. You know, working with them rather than, and keeping the council in the dark. And it's just my opinion, and I think we're going right back to that now. We've had something that happened just recently, and as far as my conversations with the attorney, the only one that could make this call is the city administrator. And why in the world he would go this direction, I have no idea. But I don't see how, if you're trying to figure out what I'm talking about, I don't know if y'all, even if all of y'all are aware, I found out on Facebook that we have a new employee that's given a title that I've never even heard of before. I don't know anything about the pay scale. All I was told by the attorney is there's no nepotism involved. And I certainly don't want anybody to think this is any kind of reflection on someone's ability to do a job. It's certainly not that. The attorney said he had a list of emails or some emails back and forth, how this was brought about. And that, again, this was done through a process of just naming who someone's going to report to. And in my book, you know, that's just a bunch of bull.
May I, Glenn?
No, I'm not finished.
Okay, excuse me.
There's some other things going on too. We talked about, I've been fighting double standards ever since I've been on this council. And we're having that again. I try to get information, I get misinformation, I get lied to. We make a case out of one person or one business. Veritas is our go-to people. They're in charge of what happens, you know, as far as inspections and stuff like that. And then we go and settle another case that's been going on for years with simple affidavits. And Veritas not even aware of it, even though they didn't put, you know, demands on what needed to be done. And the attorney wasn't aware of how this was finalized. When I start getting information given to me, and I call up the attorney to question, which I think is not only my right, my duty, and he starts telling me, well, that's not totally accurate, then we have a problem. I've dedicated a lot of years up here to fight this kind of stuff, and it looks to me like we're right back to square one. So that's my
Is that
announcement.
your announcement? Thank you, Glenn. Item 6, did anyone, oh, well, I apologize. Do any other council members have announcements? Then we're on item 6. Anyone care to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, please.
Thank you,